Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder why it feels like we're living in different realities lately, or why it is so hard to agree on basic facts? This fascinating new paper dives deep into how misinformation isn't just about believing false things, but about actively messing with how we know what is true. So what is the big idea here? The researchers point out that for a long time, we thought misinformation was just about spreading lies. That politician did X or this product causes Y. But it has gotten a lot more sophisticated. They call it strategic disinformation. And its main goal isn't always to make you believe a specific lie, but to make you unsure about anything, to create this feeling of I don't know what to believe anymore. You can really see this shift when you contrast today's world with, say, a few decades ago. Back then, if you wanted to spread misinformation widely, you had to go through major news outlets. Think about the claims about Iraq having weapons of mass destruction not too long ago. Even though mainstream media still plays a role, the game has completely changed with social media. Now, platforms like X, Facebook, and TikTok can amplify these falsehoods incredibly fast. It is not just governments anymore. Political groups, online communities, even individuals can spread these narratives through coordinated networks and what can seem like authentic public outcry. And here is the crucial part the paper emphasizes. Often, this isn't even about getting people to believe it. It is about making the very idea of a shared reality and common ground disappear. If we can't agree on what is real, how can we make decisions together, especially in a democracy? This diagram here really sums it up. We have the direct effects, where you might change your mind about something because of false information. But then there are these much deeper indirect effects that target our whole system for knowing things, our epistemic standards. Now, you might think this is all new, but the paper reminds us that misinformation isn't new. Propaganda has been around for ages. Think of all the misleading narratives from industries trying to protect their profits, like with tobacco or fossil fuels. What is different now is the scale and speed. We know misinformation can affect our memories, not just implanting false memories, but making it harder to recall the truth. It also directly shapes our beliefs and attitudes. Think about how false information about COVID-19 vaccines or climate change has swayed people's opinions. And even when we try to correct it, some of the misinformation can stick around. And this isn't just about what we think, it drives behavior. Health misinformation can lead to people not taking preventative measures. Climate misinformation can harm environmental efforts. And sadly, xenophobic misinformation can contribute to hate crimes. So, how has social media changed all this? Well, it is not the cause, but it is definitely the accelerator. It has made information spread like wildfire. Think of it as this messy participatory system. It is not just the news anchors anymore. It is influencers, algorithms, and the collective actions of millions of users. Influencers are key here. They build trust, sometimes a parasocial relationship where followers feel like they know them. And what makes content spread isn't always accuracy, but how well it resonates or fits the algorithm. And those algorithms, they're designed to keep you engaged. They learn what you like and show you more of it. This creates an incentive for sensational divisive content because that gets more clicks and shares early on. This can lead to us seeing caricatures of people we disagree with, fueling animosity and distrust. This constant online conflict where groups attack each other can push people to more extreme viewpoints. It creates these bespoke realities that feel real within certain groups, but lead to a huge divide in what anyone agrees is the truth across different communities. Now, let's add another big player, artificial intelligence or AI, generative AI, like the tools that can write text or create images is amazing, but it can also create misleading content. The scary part is that malicious actors can use AI to create persuasive misinformation incredibly fast and cheaply, and then spread it at a massive scale. This AI-generated content is hard to tell from real content and can be even more convincing. It can even pick up on your own biases and feed them back to you, making it harder to resist. This also creates a worrying feedback loop. If AI models are trained on AI-generated content, they can start amplifying existing biases and reduce the variety of information out there. Imagine a world where the AI you use to find information is constantly getting worse because it is learning from flawed AI content. This could lead to polarized AI ecosystems where you only get information that confirms your existing beliefs, further fragmenting reality. This brings us to the core of the paper's argument, the indirect systemic effects. This is where the real damage happens to our ability to trust and know things. When you are constantly bombarded with contradictory or false information, or even just a ton of confusing stuff, it becomes overwhelming. It is like trying to find truth in a hurricane of noise. This can lead people to just give up trying to figure things out, or to become cynical. And a really clever tactic is the liar's dividend, where bad actors can dismiss real, inconvenient truths by just shouting fake news. This constant barrage also erodes trust in traditional sources of authority like scientists, experts, and the media. When those institutions lose credibility, it creates a situation where made-up, alternative facts can seem just as valid as rigorously researched knowledge. Trust becomes based on how loud or popular something is, not on evidence. We're also seeing influential people, especially politicians, speaking more from personal belief and intuition rather than evidence. This belief speaking replaces fact speaking. If there is no need to back up claims with data, then pure assertion and sincerity become enough. This is a godsend for people who want to manipulate public opinion because they don't have to distort facts. They can just appeal to feelings or gut instincts. And when people feel disenfranchised, they might see this belief speaking as more honest. What is the big picture here? We end up with a confused, distrustful population that is less likely to trust reliable sources, more likely to disengage from important discussions, and less likely to act on evidence. We see this in things like declining vaccination rates. These indirect effects are incredibly dangerous because they attack the very foundations of how we understand the world and make collective decisions. This is often called truth decay. So, what can we do about it? The paper argues for a multi-pronged approach addressing both individual and systemic issues. At the individual level, things like inoculation, where you are preemptively exposed to weakened forms of misinformation to build resistance, and media literacy training are crucial, teaching people how to think critically about what they see online and how algorithms work can build long-term resilience. But we also need systemic changes. This means more transparency about how social media algorithms work and how content gets amplified. It involves rethinking how platforms make money, because right now, sensational content is often more profitable. They suggest things like exploring subscription models over advertising, breaking up platform monopolies, to create more competition and giving users more control over their own feeds. Ultimately, this research highlights a critical shift. Misinformation is no longer just about telling lies. It is a strategic effort to destabilize our shared understanding of reality. While people will always have different ways of knowing things, deliberately attacking the system we use to establish truth is a direct threat to democracy. We need to uphold evidence, call out falsehoods for what they are, and resist the idea that fact-checking is censorship. It is really about evidence-based counter-speech. My take on this is that the paper does a fantastic job of showing that this is a complex, interconnected problem. We can't just rely on individuals to be super critical all the time. The systems we use to get information are deeply intertwined with how we think and how we govern ourselves. The challenge of AI creating even more convincing misinformation is especially worrying. But the flip side is that AI could also be part of the solution, helping us detect and correct misinformation. Future research could really explore these AI-powered solutions more, but also dig deeper into how to foster those crucial systemic changes in platform design and incentives. How do we make platforms prioritize truth over engagement? It is a huge question with massive implications. This is a really important ongoing conversation, and this paper gives us a great framework to understand what is at stake. What are your thoughts on this? Have you noticed this shift towards epistemic uncertainty in your own life? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science explained, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the wonders and complexities of the human mind. Thanks for watching.